More and more people writing into the show with buyer's remorse. We got a good one to unpackage today. Somebody wrote into the show and they're in a situation where they have buyer's remorse, and it's an interesting one actually. We'll get into the meat and the nuts and bolts of this one here shortly. I'll invite you guys into the email. But the realities are this is a common theme right now. A lot of people have buyer's remorse, but it's all across the board what's causing the buyer's remorse. In this specific case, and we've all had them, it's the neighbors. The neighbors, there's always one, right? It's just like the workplace. How many jobs have you had where there's always somebody at work that you just don't get along with? It happens. It's just part of the deal. But I got good news for you. I got good news for you if that's you at your job or you at your house. But today we're going to dive into buyer's remorse, some of the things that possibly we can or cannot do in this situation. So let's go ahead and jump over to today's email. Then we're going to meet back here and wrap this one up. Let's get started. Hi, Scott. I'm a new subscriber to your channel on YouTube. I've been binge watching your videos. I love the information that you've been sharing. I was curious about my current situation and I was wondering what you thought. So my husband and I were first-time homeowners in 2004, but did not manage our first home well. We ended up short selling it in 2010. Yes, our mortgage was upside down. We lived in an apartment for a couple of years, regrouped, and purchased another home at the end of 2013. Same price at $252,000 with a rate of 4.75. Thank God this time we are not in a bad mortgage. Here's the difference. The first home was in a gated community built by KB. Our current home was also built by KB, but not in a gated community, not even an association. The difference has been annoying for me. With the constant salespeople and various marketers, we do live near some nice people, but we have next door neighbors from you know where. They're loud and have a lot of traffic going in and out from their house daily, and a lot of loud parties with lots of people roaming up and down the block. Recently, the police were called. In your opinion, would that make you want to sell if you lived in a neighborhood with no rules and no regulations like that? Really interested in what you think. I'm having buyer's remorse. As much as I love my current home, you can't pick it up and move it. Signed, new subscriber. Well, thank you so much for your subscription and your support. Let's get back to the studio and see if we can wrap this one up. All right, friends, welcome back. So there you go. To the subscriber on this particular one, what do we do with them? What can we possibly do in their situation? Now, they went through a short sale in the last bubble. They recovered from it. Congratulations. I know what that's like personally, and that's a big monumental moment, and that's why possibly they're writing in today. They have seen this movie before. Here's the tricky part for most people right now. More than likely, if they bought back in 2013 or anybody that's bought in a while back experienced extreme appreciation in their house, but it's unrealized wealth. It's only wealth that's on paper. Unless they sell, it's dead equity. And that's the majority of the people right now in America that did not buy in the bubble. They had the wealth effect created. They looked at the value of their house on paper and made them feel wealthy, and they either did a refi and used their house as a cash register, as an ATM, pulled out that equity. Now they're stuck in the home, or two, the only way they can get out is to sell. But what do? You would have to, in essence, go back to being a renter. Now, that is a strategic play right now. I've seen many people do that, and I do not oppose that because anybody that's watched the show for a while knows I believe it's not as important to own where you live. It's just important to own. I would rather see somebody, a renter for life for their primary home, but stack investment properties. It makes perfect sense. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. Early on in my own journey, I remember a very successful real estate professional renting, and they told me that, and I ran with that. And ever since, my life has been much more efficient because you see, this as a trained salesman, I know once I put you into a house, it becomes all about the house. It's very rare that you're going to be able to create any investments. You're too tied up with your primary home. So you don't own it, it owns you. But for this specific situation, they have buyer's remorse in the sense that they're now in a non-gated community. They feel like if they were in a gated community, they might not have as many unsavory neighbors, and if they do, the association would remedy it a little quicker, which is in fact probably the case. So for my opinion, if this was me and I was in this specific situation, I have equity in the home, and I got a neighbor I don't like, there's a couple things that I see playing out just like that coworker that we may or may not have had. At some point, what happens to that coworker? They either change their attitude or they get let go. I've seen a lot of people that aren't necessarily the most qualified person at their job, but their good attitude keeps them around. Where somebody with a lot more skill set has a bad attitude and they get let go. If the police have already been called on this neighbor, my guess is they're on borrowed time. Eventually, you will lose that neighbor. You might just have to suffer through it for a little while, but understand there's a good chance they're going to self-implode on their own, and you probably won't be stuck with them forever. Number two, you put a renter into the house. If you can put a renter in this house and it cash flows enough for you to maybe go re-rent something somewhere else, maybe that gated community, hold the asset, just utilize the rents that you're getting paid to pay the rent on another property. You can always move back if you choose. Numero tres. Number three. Sell the house. Just sell it. This is the $1 million. This is the trickiest of all three, though, in my opinion, because if you sell now, yes, you're gonna walk away hopefully with a bunch of cash, sold at the height of the biggest bubble ever witnessed in world history, but you will have to find replacement housing. So that's either a situation where you're gonna have to go rebuy at a higher interest rate and lose that 4.75% interest rate you had. Now, if you can put enough money down from the sale of this house that your cost to carry the mortgage on the next house, even at a higher rate, pencils out, then that's something you can in fact look at. But those are pretty much this three scenarios or options of getting out of this one. Let the neighbor self-implode. It's going to probably happen. Number two, dump a renter into the house, move out, go rent something else. Or three, sell the house, take the money and run, and go see if you can make that windfall of cash pencil out even at a higher interest rate. Those are pretty much the three options. Personally, the first one probably makes the most sense. As much as I love to help you buy or sell this property and or your next, my guess is eventually these neighbors will be removed from the home. It sounds like the police are already getting called in, and that's usually a pretty good indicator. Final thoughts that come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a real estate guy that wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understand the waters we're swimming in out, they're shark infested. There's no sugarcoating this thing. This is in fact what we got going on now. Life isn't going to be perfect. I always say there's no perfect agent out there. There's no perfect house out there. All we can do is get as close as we can. I'm here to do my best to expose the good, the bad, and the ugly every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media link in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I think you're going to love the next video on your screen. And there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.